and now three different generations come through, including my own. And I'm so happy. I'm so fired up about our younger generation, man. I mean, they are taking it and they're attacking this thing the right way. And I just think we have this great country, and these kids know how great this country is. They absolutely know how great it is, and all they want to do is make it better. And I think that's a beautiful thing, especially, like I said, I'm not getting any younger, so I've got grandkids, and I'm blessed that these guys are all and ladies are doing this and standing up for what they believe. I was lucky enough to grow up around diverse cultures and religions, everything. So in Los Angeles, and then obviously I was in sports at the same time. So my respect for people is for people, and we're sitting here with this push on Black Lives Matter, and absolutely they matter, man. I think it's a beautiful thing. I'm in complete support with them. I believe in communication. I believe in what my parents taught me about. At times like this, you have large ears, man. You sit and you listen and you learn, and you become better. And so that's where I'm at. I appreciate Patrick and Tyrann for what they did and standing up and making a statement that allows all of us to be in a better place where love is first, and we can surround all of ourselves with great people, and most of all respected people that we come in contact with. This world is a great thing. I go way back to I'm glad Heavenly Father gave me an opportunity to be here, first of all. So, and then there's a reason why our players in the National Football League get so excited to come to work every day. The head coach, the coaches get so excited. Myself, I'll speak for myself. I don't want to speak for others here, but I get fired up every day because I get to work with our guys, and I get to see how smart and how much they just thrive on life and competition and just the greatness in which they bring to my spirit every day. And I mean, I always wish that everybody could feel that. That's what really our guys want, man. They want to take this and allow others to feel it, man. And we've got to be open-minded and open-hearted to do this. So I respect how Clark Hunt has taken this and jumped in with the players and just said, hey, listen, I'm in support. I'm all ears, man. I want to learn, and I want to listen, and I want to help. And Mark Donovan has been just tremendous with the guys, as Brett Veach has been, and their support. And Tyrann and Patrick have kind of headed up with the players and putting together some thoughts on what they can do to make things better in Kansas City here, and they're working through that now, which I just again I appreciate and completely support it. So my heart goes out to the three people that have passed away, but this isn't something that's new. I mean, I saw it as a young person, and it's going on today. Technology has exploited it here, so we can all see it, and you better believe it, man. You better believe it. It's real, and it needs to end. And our hands, us old folks, man, this younger generation, they are studs. They believe in themselves. They believe in each other, and they believe in equality. And let's jump in, man. Let's jump in full-fledged. Let's jump in. Let's learn. Let's listen, and let's make this place even greater than it already is right now. and we have a chance to do that. With that, listen, I'd like to tell you that the off season has been it's been interesting for those reasons there, but it's also been a great learning experience for our players and coaches. We not only have we learned all this technology, but we've also been able to incorporate it into teaching. So even though we don't have the players on the field, we're able to spend a couple hours with them and teach. And we haven't slowed down a lick. And we've introduced new things to the guys. And we've gone back through and reviewed our scheme evals that the coaches spent a lot of time this offseason going through and being critical and trying to better ourselves. We got plenty of room to improve, and we're all willing to do that. So that's where we're at. Again, we have another week left here. Next week we'll finish up. Right this week here, we're actually going back through, like you guys know we do, going back through our opponents. AFC West opponents and our first game, which we know now. So and we're going to get ourselves ready for camp. We don't know exactly what that's going to represent going to camp. We don't know where we're going to be or how we're going to do it and all that. But we'll keep our ears open and we'll be ready to roll, man. And whatever situation is presented to us, we're going to dominate that and work our tail off to be great. And that's where we're at. All right. With that, time's yours.
Start with Adam Teicher. Go ahead, Adam.
Hey, Andy, how you doing today?
I'm doing good. Thanks, Adam.
Good. Just to make sure I understand, you are finishing up this week? This will be it for the virtual off-season program?
Next week will be our last week.
Okay.
Next week.
Okay.
This week is opponents, and then next week would be where we would have normally had our mandatory mini camp. So we'll finish up next week.
Okay. You said earlier that you're in full support of everything Pat and Tyrann and everybody else is doing in support of Black Lives Matter. And you talked about Donovan and Clark and everybody else is doing that. Can you talk about how you all are supporting the players in that respect?
Yeah, so they're heading towards a program of voter registration and working through teaching and educating through with the voters registration, and that's again, we're working through that as we speak here. So and we'll have a statement for you once we get it all taken care of.
Let's go to Sarin Petro. Go ahead, Sarin.
Coach, thank you for the time. The protests that are going on right now, a lot of players are saying that those protests are going to carry over into the season, that there will be kneeling for the national anthem at the games. I know how that, was a very controversial subject, right, several years ago. Have you had conversations with Patrick, with Tyrann, about what the plan is for the players, what your plan is? Has the league spoken to you? Has Clark spoken to you about how that'll be handled?
Yeah, no, I haven't even gone there. This isn't about kneeling. It's about progress, man. And so we all get hung up on this other deal. That's not what this is about. But if we can just focus in on appreciating life, appreciating people, not judging by the outer skin. You asked this question, man. I appreciate you asking, but I used to do a thing with blow pops. And when I talk to kids and try to educate, this is from when I was young and up through till today. And I take 4 blow pops, pick 3 kids, say we're gonna have a bubblegum blowing contest, right? Within one of those blow pops, I take the wrapper off, put a $100 bill in, run the wrapper. Not one time in the 50 to 100 times that I've given this talk has anybody picked the wrapper that's messed up, right? That looks like it's been messed with. Because everybody, people judge by what's on the outside, what they see, instead of getting in and enjoying what's inside, which, is this example would be that bubble gum, man. And so let's get away from judging. And this goes for everybody. This goes, but we're talking about racial issues here. Let's get in and let's see what's inside people. And when you do, you're going to see beauty, man. There's some beautiful, beautiful people out there that we're putting walls up against that we don't have an opportunity to meet. we're not here on earth very long, man. I'm taking advantage of every person I meet. I'm gonna take advantage of that person and try to shoot them and look at them for the good. And then if they prove opposite, then I'll go that direction with it. But I'm gonna give people an opportunity, and I've tried to do that throughout my life. And again, that was for my parents and my upbringing and where I grew up. So, but this whole thing, I mean, it needs to end. I'm sorry for going off there, but I was just trying to fill you in on kind of a little something there. Go ahead.
So I I mean, do you anticipate having conversations about, I mean, I understand what you're saying, Coach, but this is, a lot of what the players have said is that people.
That's not where I've been or where I'm going. No.
Okay.
That's not where I'm at right now. And I don't want people to focus on that. That this is bigger than that, right? This is more important than that. And right now, I know people are going to start counting heads and focusing on this and that, and that's terrible. That's not what this is about, man. Don't worry about that. Worry about getting better and go out and do that. Introduce yourself to somebody and make a friend, man, and see how good people are. Let's get back to some of the basics.
Let's go to Bob Fesco. Go ahead, Bob.
Hey, Andy, how, as a coach, I guess, how proud are you of your guys, Ty and Patrick, to become basically overnight kind of leaders of the NFL and leaders of what's going on right now with these players?
I love it, man. I see it every day. That's why I get fired up to come. And it's been that way since I've been a coach. I'm telling you, this generation, I've been coaching for a couple generations now. And that's why I get fired up. And you guys ask me every week, you ask me, hey, I see you sitting with Patrick and talking. And I tell you every week, I listen to what Patrick says. I listen to Eric Bieniemy, Mike Kafka. I listen, right? I listen. And so how important is that? I think it's a beautiful deal. Dig in and try it. Let's try it. And everybody, I'm talking, listen, I grew up in the city. So I know there's there are gangs for every race. There's a gang, right? Let's pump the brakes. Let's pump the brakes and try to see the good in each other, man. And it will work out better. It'll work out better for everybody. And it's we're all humans. It's such a good, and that's the beauty of this thing. We're blessed to be here.
Let's go to Nate Taylor. Go ahead, Nate.
Hey, Andy, thanks for doing this. I have 2 questions for you. You mentioned Clark earlier in your original statement. Just can you give specifics as to what the conversations were like when you saw the players' video and how Clark hopes to help their efforts? What specifics have you guys had in terms of those conversations? And
Clark, yeah. I'm gonna get both your questions. I'll take one at a time.
Okay.
I don't want them to run together for you.
Okay.
So listen, Clark was unbelievable. I mean, he was so proud of those guys, and he called them and talked to them. So, that's how Clark does. However people see it, he's unbelievable with the guys that way, and he's all in. And our guys know it. That's why you don't hear a lot of chatter and that these guys they know that they have an open ear to talk to, and whether it's Clark, Mark, Brett, myself, it's an open ear. We're there to listen, and we're all in it together. I mean, that's what we're doing. We're a team. That's what team is. That's the beauty of this thing.
Yeah. And you mentioned earlier with Patrick and Tyrann maybe putting together a voter registration program. How, as an organization, are you guys going to try to either get behind them or try to push sort of the issue that players want?
Absolutely. Oh no, absolutely. No, we go in now. Those guys are heading it up. I'm proud of them for that. But Clark Hunt's right there with them, and so I'm proud of that too. He's all in, and we're all in. So it's that's what we need to do. And I'm doing way too much talking here, but the talking needs to stop, and we need to, dig in and let's go, man. Let's go, do something.
Let's go to Darren Smith. Go ahead, Darren.
Hey, Coach. First of all, thank you for talking with us. Now, I know you mentioned earlier about the players, but if they decide to take a knee, and I don't want you to really, I don't want to say that you're setting it aside, but if they decide to take a knee opening night, would you and your coaching staff not only take a knee with them, but, peacefully protest? And then also, Coach, I know you talk about everybody look inside and see the good of one another. If they were to do that, we wouldn't be in the situation right now. What about this particular video right here, right now, made the Chiefs organization come out and Patrick as well come out and say something? Obviously, when Colin Kaepernick first, kneeled down or whatever, we talked about it during the Chiefs when you all played the Los Angeles Chargers a few years back, and then of course, senseless murders have taken place by police officers since that time. But then now, this particular video, this particular time, why here, why now?
You're talking about that video right there. What's the beauty of that? The beauty is that it's all different people coming together. I'm right down by the plaza, man. I see it. The beautiful thing is that it's not one race supporting. It's not one race. It's all races supporting Black Lives Matter, man. And that gives me chills just talking about it. That's our younger generation. That's what's going to set up this country for my grandkids. And I'm fired up for that. And the Colin Kaepernick, I'm not going to get into all that. I don't know all the answers. I don't have all the answers for this, but I just know that picture you just showed me and asked me about, that fires me up. That fires me up.
Let's go to BJ Kissel. Go ahead, BJ.
Oh,
BJ, you got us?
Yeah, sorry. Coach, just want to say I appreciate your time, just echoing what everyone else has said. I'm just curious, during this time, what experiences are you leaning on, either through mentors that you've watched as a coach, growing up in this business, or just situations that have arisen that you can kind of lean on as far as how to keep a team together and how to communicate with the guys in a situation like this to maintain that togetherness that you pride so much in your teams having?
Yeah, so listen, I grew up in Los Angeles during the 60s and 70s. My high school was a melting pot. I had a Japanese head football coach. I had a Hispanic defensive coordinator. It goes on. This is what I had. I had Black teammates, Asian teammates, Hispanic teammates, Middle Eastern teammates, and you mess with one of them, I'm gonna get after you. You know what I'm saying? We all came together. That's a team, right? That's the team. So, that's how I feel. I'm all in. I was raised that way. I don't see those other things. I see humans. I'm not looking at the wrapper. I'm gonna look at what's inside, and I'm gonna get in there, and I'm gonna find out, man. Are you a good person? Are you willing to work? Do you care about other people? What's inside, man? What makes you tick? And if I can help it tick a little better, I'll try to do it. If you can help, take your strengths and help me tick a little better, let's roll. Let's go. And I'll go all day, and I'll be your biggest supporter. And if somebody messes with you, I'm coming after you. That's how I go. But it's because of the upbringing I had and the way I was raised and where I was raised.
Looks like we've got 3 more hands up, guys. So we're going to go Pete, Sam, and then Herbie to close us out. Go ahead, Pete.
Hey, Coach, thanks for taking the time to do this. I was wondering, one of the big parts of Roger Goodell's statement the other night was the league just finally admitting it was wrong. And you've always been a league first guy. I just was curious some of your ideas of how potentially the league could come through this and go from one place to work to a better place to both play and to work.
Yeah, no, I think Roger, he was a stud right there. That's a hard thing to do, to say I was wrong. How many of us have a hard time saying that? And listen, time can do that to you, right? So we've all been in that position where things change, and it's changing right now. How great is that? Every generation's changed in some way to get us to this point. Now we get to put it down and end it. And like I said, I'm big on this. So it makes the NFL better. It's going to make our country better. We live in a great place, man. We are so lucky to be here. My guys tell me that every day. They know that. And now they get to make it better. If you take that and you take what we do as a team, and what we talk about all the time is, how can we become better than we were before? Now, you might have to take a step back to be greater, to take a step forward, right? So that's what these guys believe in, and you're seeing it now. You're seeing everything that we see every day, and why we get so fired up to talk to you guys and deal with y'all. So I got to get over that prejudice with you guys. I mean, that's how we feel. We see this, and it's so exciting, man. It keeps old, like I said, it keeps old heads like me young. So I appreciate it.
Go ahead, Sam.
Yeah, Andy, just echo, thanks for making the time. Quick question. The reaction from the league, specifically players, is so much different now than it was, 4 years ago, for instance. Do you have a theory on why that is? Are guys feeling more empowered? Are they just feeling stronger about the issue? What's your theory on that?
Yeah, I think it comes back, now that I'm dealing with all this technology, I think it comes back to technology helps us learn here. And we know the evils of it. There's good and there's bad and everything, right? So, but there's good in this. And so people saw this firsthand. So that's why the picture that we just saw, everybody's in. Everybody's talking the same talk here. It's time to change. And like I said, I'm proud of this generation for doing that. I mean, I think it's a neat deal. But I think it's what people see, and they've heard it over and over. Now they've seen it. And, I think it's a positive thing.
Okay, Herbie, go ahead and close us out.
Hey, Coach, always a pleasure, and thank you for sharing your passionate thoughts. I have two questions here for you. I mean, I can go with one, and then kind of like what you did with Nate, or you want me to go ahead and fire both at one time?
Yeah, you throw one at me, Herbie.
Okay. There are a couple of reports out there this morning about a shortened preseason, as well as the Chiefs potentially starting training camp on the 25th of July. How much do you agree with shortening the preseason if you do have to report on the 25th?
You know what, Herbie, I'll do anything that we have to do. I want to make sure people are safe. I think we all do, right? We want to make sure that that there's no repercussions, and we're in a time of change with the COVID-19, right? So we're learning new stuff every day, and the doctors and scientists are doing a phenomenal job with it. So let's see how it goes. I think the league is feeling probably the same way. They haven't given us anything on start date or not, other than what was the start date before. So rookies are in the 22nd, or you can bring them in a little bit earlier, I guess. But you mentioned that we have this new CBA. So I've gone through and with training camp, I put together along with Eric Bieniemy and Spags and Tobe a regular training camp, and so with flexibility, if we have to go a different direction, we can do it. But we're ready to roll. And by the time we leave, we'll have a completely set. And then if they give us new rules, then we can change it. We can change as we go. But right now we're full-fledged on, and I'm sure there are going to be different things, hurdles that we got to cross, but we'll be ready.
My final question, Coach, and you mentioned COVID-19. Alabama, Auburn, in the past week, they've had players out there practicing, and they've tested positive for coronavirus. How do you go about balancing as a head coach, going all out, knowing that threat is still out there? What is your message to the team and the players that they do have to stay safe?
Well, social distance, all those things are important right now until we know more. And we know that right now that works, so let's focus on that. And until we know something else, and we'll do something else. But this is new, and so let science kind of help us along with this thing. And we still should, hopefully time takes care of it, which it normally does on these things. I've lived through a couple of these different types of things. I had the opportunity of coaching in San Francisco when the AIDS epidemic was going on. So I felt that firsthand, and I get the urgency there, man. So let's just hang with it and see. And we all know there's going to be some kind of change potentially going on, and we'll adjust, So.